Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Under the Bridge, where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes gaming news, sometimes comic news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I'm Greg, aka Greg, and my co-host sounds like he's wearing a business suit right now.
No, I'm leaning up to a thing. Hold your shit together. That's really funny, though.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to make this bit work, because you've actually caught us in the middle of a little bit of a celebration, because we've finally hit triple-digit subs, baby! Woo!
Yeah!
Alright! Only took 2 years and some change, but considering how bad I am at promoting this online, that's actually pretty good!
Yeah!
But really, thank you all so much who have subscribed. And those who have been putting likes and comments. For some reason, the latest Doctor Doom short really blew up, and that's what got us over the threshold. So, if the thing that really starts this takeoff is me saying that Doctor Doom does unmentionable things to pictures of Reed Richards, well, congratulations, we're a Doctor Doom channel now.
Hey, I mean, if it gives me an opportunity to go on off MF Doom tangents, I'll take it.
Nobody cared who he was till he put on the mask. Anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell. I don't know, I did this whole thing all out of order just so I could do that one lead-up bit.
Ring the like button, smash that bell.
I might steal that going forward. That's actually really good. So most of the news I have this week is honestly about superhero television.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the TV Upfronts happened this year, or they happen every year. TV Upfronts happened just this past week, and that's where networks all present their upcoming season to advertisers and the press, and sometimes trailers get out, but not in this case, it seems.
So television E3.
Yeah, something like that.
That somehow sounds awful after it came out of my mouth.
Yeah, that is kind of... Anyway... The really frustrating thing is, I think it was last week or the week before, it was in the lead up to the TV Upfronts that, and I'm really mad because I had it on the list and then forgot to talk about it, where Marvel released a post that renamed the Agatha show to Agatha the Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe. At which point, I'm really mad this isn't recorded, but I know we talked about it, because if I had recorded this and then it happened, I would have felt so accomplished. But instead, you just have to take my word for it that I was already on it. When that update dropped and then got pulled, I said, oh, so, okay, all these name changes are officially just, they're spinning their wheels until they do a big announcement, and we're supposed to roll our eyes and act surprised at the fact that it was, in fact, Agatha all along. And lo and behold, it turns out the Agatha Harkness streaming series is, in fact, called Agatha All Along, to which I say, this was a dumb stunt.
This was a dumb PR stunt, yeah, and one that went on for a little too long as well.
It went on entirely too long. Agatha All Along is a bop. It's definitely a great song, but you don't have to remind everybody that that's the primary reason you were making this show to begin with, especially not when, in the wake of all the other Marvel shuffles happening, like the Secret Invasion nonsense, the release date shifts, the scaling back of content, all that stuff.
Yeah.
You really didn't need to be expressing anything that says you're less than confident in this series, which all the renames did. Because at first it just sounded like you were just renaming it for the hell of it. It wasn't until Darkhold Diaries that you finally hit a point of, okay, there's no way, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna call it that. And then finally, Lying Witch with Great Wardrobe was this is a bit. This is an Agatha All Along bit. Yep, very clever, guys.
It's a bit that's gone on for, a year and a half?
Something like that.
Whenever WandaVision originally came out?
No, WandaVision came out 3 years ago.
Oh, Jesus.
That was the start of 2021.
Oh, God.
I think Agatha House of Harkness might have been announced on Disney Plus Day, or maybe it was D23.
Okay.
Might have been 2021.
Once again, though, I think, if anything, that really drills in the thing of this stunt went on for much longer than it should have.
Yeah. We also have a release date.
Oh, okay.
The first 2 episodes are releasing September 18th of this year, and then further episodes will release weekly after that.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yeah, I don't hate the idea of this show, because Catherine Hahn was really good as Agatha Harkness.
Oh, she was excellent as Agatha Harkness.
So I'll definitely watch this. God, what a dumb stunt that was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's really going to impact how the show is received.
Probably, in all honesty, because it's one of those, like, alright, they played this weird long con, and I don't know, I feel like more often than not when I've seen companies do that, it kind of kills interest and gains interest.
Yeah, especially for a show where, and I don't buy into the why would you make a show out of this in general, unless it's Sony doing it, but...
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
Marvel announces obscure character project. Yeah, alright. Sony announces obscure character project. Hello, human resources?
Yeah, looks at Kraven, or to a lesser extent, Madam Web. I know those are movies and not shows, but still.
Yeah, no, but it's the same principle. And we'll get to Sony in a bit later on in this episode.
Oh yeah, we'll make fun of Sony later on.
So, the concept of an Agatha series didn't bug me on principle, because, like, yeah, she was a really good part of WandaVision.
Mm-hmm.
But, when it's already been so long since it was announced, and we still don't really have an idea of what the show is gonna be, this wasn't the time to pull we're gonna keep confusing you on what it's even called.
Right.
So September 18th, we'll see about that.
Indubitably.
We also got some updates on Daredevil Born Again and Ironheart.
Alrighty.
Both are releasing in 2025. Daredevil Born Again in March, Ironheart, we don't know.
Somehow that's less encouraging for Ironheart. I was fully expecting you to say that it was going to get delayed again.
Well, I mean...
Oh my god.
Okay, look, here's my thinking, right? It would make sense to release Ironheart closer to Armor Wars, and we still don't know when the hell Armor Wars is coming out, or if it's even still happening.
Remind me which one Armor Wars is again?
Tony Stark's tech falls in the wrong hands, Rhodey just got done being a Skrull, Rhodey tries to get Tony's tech back.
Oh, I forgot that was a project.
And therein lies the problem with this whole strategy.
Yeah, honestly, which is a shame because I do generally like Rhodey when he's on the screen. And
they announced that at the same time as House of Harkness.
Did they now?
Yeah, it was the same presentation. It was supposed to be a Disney Plus series. And then they reworked it into a movie, and we still know nothing else about it. It might have a director? I don't know. So, Ironheart, I feel like, might get moved again, or it means Armor Wars is coming sooner than we think, but there's already 4 movies coming out in 2025, and I expect one of those... Blade is moving, so...
Yeah, yeah. Once again, Blade is never coming out.
The earliest I'd see Armor Wars happening is 2026, which means Ironheart is either late 2025, or it's moving again, or they've given up on trying to synergize the two.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil Born Again, on the other hand, March 2025, it has been confirmed by Charlie Cox that it's been trimmed down to 9 episodes from the original 18.
Oh, okay. I thought it was supposed to be 12 episodes originally.
No, they announced 18 when they first announced it.
Good lord.
And then the creative overhaul happened because whatever they were doing just wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they decided to trim it down to 9. There are some rumblings that it might be split into 2 seasons, and that those back half 9 episodes will instead be treated as a season 2. But I haven't seen anything substantiating that, and I'm not going to buy into that until I see it, because it's entirely possible they also realized 18 episodes is fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah. Even if they release 2 every week, that's still...
That's 2 months.
That's 2 months of the one show. That would be a longer run than any of the other previous Marvel shows we've gotten so far.
Yeah, 9 is actually the most we've ever gotten on any of them.
Oh, really?
And that was She-Hulk.
Huh.
And those are only 22 minutes long, or they're about less than 30, for the most part.
Right. Yeah. God, imagine if all of these episodes are an hour long.
9 episodes an hour long, I think, is good.
I mean, I would be okay with that, but it's like, I haven't seen anything like that since, like, Band of Brothers.
I mean, the Netflix series were 13 apiece per season, and Daredevil seasons 1 and 3 are some of the best superhero television I've ever seen, so...
Fair.
Season 2, it's a really good Punisher pilot.
Yeah!
Really good Punisher pilot, really bad Elektra pilot.
It's the pilot of Punisher with an Elektra cameo that's there for longer than it needs to be.
Except the cameo is half the season.
Quick caveat, you know what's funny? When I watched that season for the first time, even though I distinctly remember seeing Elektra get brought up in the trailers or promotional material, I genuinely forgot that Elektra was going to show up in the show until we get to the scene of Daredevil just, chilling in his apartment. I forgot what he did right before, but he was very happy and very satisfied. He just goes, Elektra! And I'm like, Oh, fuck, that's right, you're here. God damn it.
And there's another weird little announcement spinning off of these updates, which is that, starting with Agatha All Along, Marvel's Disney Plus series, even though they're set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, will no longer be using the Marvel Studios banner. Instead, Marvel Television is back from the dead.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh my god. So does that mean Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon again?
It can't be. It literally can't be.
It actually could not be, but it would be very funny if it was. It's like, psych!
Then again, everyone else has ignored the fact that half the universe was gone for 5 years, so...
Well, since we have this whole multiversus TVA nonsense, they could spin it as, like, there was a fracture point that no one knew about until just now.
No, hear me out on this one. The main thing that made it so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't be canon was the fact that Season 5 ended right when Infinity War was happening, and then Season 6 jumped ahead a year, or maybe it was 2 years? I think it was a year. And they never acknowledged the fact that the snap happened. Like, half the team isn't missing, there's no mention of constant ongoing crises, it's just business as usual.
Okay, that's fair.
But every other project since then has pretty much gone out of... If it doesn't directly address the snap and its consequences, it's like it never happened. Moon Knight. Moon Knight could have happened pre-Infinity War for all we know. It didn't. We know it didn't, but in terms of how it addresses half the universe being gone, which is crazy... I see what they were going for by not undoing the snap, but boy, if you're not going to pick up that ball and run with it, what are you even doing?
You know, I still haven't watched the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even after all these years.
The funny thing is, I haven't seen Season 6, though.
Okay.
Hell, I never finished Season 5. I finished 4, watched part of 5, went straight to 7.
Was it 5 that started with them in 30s New York, or was that Season 6?
That was 7.
That was 7?
That was 7.
Okay, then, like I said, I have not watched the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I was on the right page then. Because I think what did it for me is that even though I was eager to watch it, it was a thing of how they were setting up, like, Fitzsimmons being separated by force again. It's just like, okay, there's only so much of this that a man can take.
Yeah. That was one of the only good relationships in that show.
Yeah, and it's like there's only so much a man can take of seeing these two adorable dumbasses being separated by force time and time again.
My sweet nerd babies.
Yeah, for real. Who were maybe, I don't know, on their way to making their own sweet nerd babies.
Heyo. So, anyways, Marvel Studios head of TV, streaming, and animation, Brad Winderbaum, had some comments about the banner coming back. What he said was, "We want to make sure that Marvel stays an open door for people to come in and explore. On the heels of Endgame, I think there was, maybe, a little bit of an obligation to watch absolutely everything in order to watch anything. As you know, as a comics fan, they're designed to just pop in, find something that you like, and use that to enter you into the universe, and then you can explore and weave around based on your own preferences. So part of the rebranding of Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, Marvel Animation, even Marvel Spotlight is to, I think, try to tell the audience, you can jump in anywhere. They're interconnected, but they're not. You don't have to watch A to enjoy B. You can follow your bliss. You can follow your own preferences and find the thing you want within the tapestry of Marvel. Not a bad idea."
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work in the long term, though.
No.
From a storytelling perspective, especially.
They're trying really hard now because the frustrating thing is the Marvels wasn't even an example of continuity lockout. You didn't need to watch WandaVision or Miss Marvel to get Monica or Kamala.
Yeah.
But it felt like you did. Because those shows exist.
Yeah.
And that's where trying to connect everything made a bit of a problem because, yeah, that only works if the content stays quality, which the Disney Plus series were all hit or miss. Some really good stuff in there. And then Secret Invasion.
I was getting ready to say that, actually. It's just like, and then Secret Invasion happened. It's just like, oh.
Well, to be fair, I kind of hate Falcon and Winter Soldier, too. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier has some really good stuff in it. Everything about Sam's journey to accepting the shield and taking up the mantle of Captain America is really good. Everything else is kind of spotty.
Which is fair.
And it ends with, okay, you really did not think the ramifications of the conflict you have set up through all the way, and just sweeping this all under the rug, go and do better isn't really a solution, but, go off, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like, alright, this is the hand he has dealt himself.
So the cycle continues. everything is interconnected but not crucial, allegedly, which means probably less actually making sure things line up and work continuity-wise. As above, so below. It's turtles all the way down.
This sounds awful. I'm sorry, but this just sounds like a bad idea.
Fun reminder, the tail end of Marvel Television is, well, not even the tail end. There was a solid few years after it is when we got Iron Fist and Inhumans.
Man, I think the thing that amazes me most about those shows to this day is that I would still have significantly less of a problem with Iron Fist than I do with Inhumans.
No, Inhumans is terrible!
Oh, Inhumans was bad. Like, got the whole thing of her just walking up to an ATM and blatantly saying, "I need money."
I am Queen Medusa of Adelan, give me money.
That shit still lives rent-free in my head and pops up in my thoughts every now and again. It's just like, oh, that ATM machine probably has PTSD from that now.
You daft fucking lunatic.
Meanwhile, with Ironheart, not with Ironheart, with Iron Fist, while it is indeed a bad show, I could see myself actually rewatching it if I was completely bored and had nothing else I wanted to watch or play.
Nah, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, it would be a last resort, but if I was to watch that, it's like, I at least wouldn't hate myself for using my time to do that.
I would rather watch paint dry than sit through that plane crash one more fucking time.
It's like, I was in a plane crash. We know!
Motherfucker, you've got me feeling like I was in a plane crash.
Oh, God.
Crazy. Time to make fun of Sony a little bit.
Oh boy, let's go.
Yeah, so this one's an interesting bit of news, but also I kinda hate it. The Spider-Man Noir series that they were talking about, turns out, is actually live action.
Really?
And Nicolas Cage is gonna be playing Spider-Man Noir.
I have a hard time having a problem with that. I'm gonna be completely honest.
See, it's just, I don't know. Either this is Spider-Verse related, in which case, oh god, now we have to watch TV shows to understand the Spider-Verse, or it's not related, they've just got Nicolas Cage back to play Spider-Man Noir, but it's gonna be heavily based off the Spider-Verse version because you've got Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. If I'm being completely honest, with that announcement, I'm not expecting great things because of what you just mentioned. But it's also a thing of Nicolas Cage playing a campy, depressed Peter Parker in the 30s sounds very, very funny.
Apparently it will tell the story of an aging and down-on-his-luck private investigator in 1930s New York who's forced to grapple with his past life as the city's one and only superhero. Sounds neat, but it's Sony.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it's not... It's not quite Sony. It's actually been ordered to series at MGM Plus and Amazon Prime Video, which is the other stupid part of this whole thing, because apparently it's going to launch domestically on MGM Plus and have a global launch on Prime Video.
Why?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
Y'all think I'm paying extra money for MGM Plus? Why do I have Prime?
Yeah, it's like that would have been the show to get me to sit down and watch something with my Prime, because I've never used Prime to watch TV.
I still gotta watch Fallout.
Oh, that's true. That's true, actually.
Hell, I still gotta watch The Boys. I haven't seen a single episode. They keep leaving threatening messages on my phone saying that they're gonna revoke my nerd card unless I watch The Boys.
Oh my god.
Everybody's incensed. No, Look, I'll watch almost anything with Nicolas Cage in it, but I have a lot of concerns about this.
Yeah.
Partly because I'm one of those people who didn't like Across the Spider-Verse as much as Into the Spider-Verse, and I hate Across the Spider-Verse even more for as much as everybody tries to say that it's better. So my relationship with the Spider-Verse is quickly souring.
Yeah, fair and valid.
But this is a complicated situation. Let's go to something that's a lot easier to make fun of Sony about.
Oh boy.
You remember how there's been a Silk series in the work for, years?
No.
Well, there has been. Silk Spider Society.
What is the Silk Spider Society?
So Silk doesn't really have much to do with the Spider Society, and in fact, I'm trying to remember if the Spider Society is actually a thing or a thing Sony's made up to legitimize their Spider-Verse concept. I think it was a thing.
Is there actually a character named Silk?
Yeah, no, she's real.
Oh.
She was bit by the same spider that bit Peter before it died, and then she was locked up in a vault for 10 years, so in a way, she's kind of a Fallout character, but... I think she was being trained by Ezekiel, who... you know what, I think he was with the Spider Society.
Okay.
I think that's how that went. I don't remember. Once you start getting into mystical spider stuff, my eyes just kind of glaze over and I tune out because I just want a guy bit by a radioactive spider fighting bad guys in Halloween costumes, you know?
Do your eyes glaze over while you're also holding a early 2001 can of Pepsi?
A little bit. I mean, none of your business.
All right, then we're on the same page then.
Oh, and also, this is one of those things where the character has gotten much better away from her original creator, because I believe she was originally created by Dan Slott to be a replacement love interest for Peter, because he's not allowed to be with Mary Jane, and they have to keep shoehorning in new love interests. And she had weird pheromone powers that made them irresistibly horny for each other, and it was really awkward.
That sounds very, very depraved.
Sounds like a really bad manga, huh?
Yeah, yes, and I know that for sure.
My girlfriend has spider powers and irresistible pheromones. Please send help.
I could genuinely see that being a manga that launches tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, I better get on that. Somebody owes me some money if it does.
Because I dive into manga bit by bit, as Cody is very aware, and it's very much a thing of, for every dress-up darling, or spy family, or for every, IP that's genuinely quality, there is 50 pieces of trash. Not even, just trash is bad, but also trashy as well. And some of the trashy is entertaining, but it's still trash.
It's somebody working out their weird niche fetish.
Yeah, half of the manga industry is the artist or author monetizing their fetish, which, you know what, power to them.
Yeah, if you can make it work, good for you. But also, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's my understanding, because I haven't really read much Silk, that she's gotten much better as a character since moving away from Slott and not really having anything to do with Peter anymore, but I'm still not super familiar. Anyways, the series isn't happening anymore. That was the whole thing I was building up to. At least, at the very least, it's not moving forward at Prime Video, where it was supposed to be, and they're looking for somewhere else to shop it around to, apparently.
Okay, so I have not actually lost out on anything by not even knowing that this project was happening.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. According to the Deadline article that reported it, allegedly it's gone through several different versions, at least 3.
Jesus.
One of which involved a request for the writing team to reconfigure the show so it wasn't quite so centered around Silk.
Her name's in the title!
Great.
What the?
Great work, guys.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that the showrunners actually do not know what they're doing.
I think it's more the network. And by network, I mean the studio division.
So Sony.
Or Prime. It could have been Amazon. I don't know. Whoever it is, great work. You're doing terrific.
Yes.
Nice execution.
Indeed.
Just perfect. Let's make a superhero show. Can we make it not center around the superhero?
Yeah, it's can we make it not center around the person whose name is in the freaking title of the IP?
Sure. Sure, we could do that. Never change, Sony. Never change. No, wait, do.
Do. For the better, please.
God, I just can't. Let's move on to DC, because I've got a little minor update here. It's actually not that minor.
Okay.
But because it's a release date, and it's a release date for Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is going to come out June 26th, 2026.
Okay, and this is a show? Or
movie.
Movie, okay.
This is probably the second movie in James Gunn's new DCU, because it's the only one other than Superman that has a release date.
Okay.
But who knows? Something else maybe jumps ahead. Anything's possible. We'll see. They're still figuring things out, which is good. Having a concrete plan is the enemy of success.
I feel like that's a very conflicting statement to make.
No. When you're okay, let me amend. For making movies, having a concrete plan is the enemy of success.
I hate that does actually hold more water.
Because what happens when something ends up going over schedule because the lead actor sprained his ankle or something?
Yeah, because the lead actor sprained his ankle, or because the lead actor found himself in a really bad domestic violence case.
Not that has anything to do with anything.
No, not at all.
I find it interesting that apparently the first 2 movies are going to be Kryptonian-centric, but I guess that does make sense, because they've expressed before that they're releasing these and that they're working on these and prioritizing these as they come into being, functionally. Basically, as we get ideas, we're moving the release schedule around, so we're not pushing things out to meet release dates. It's done when it's done, which is
Yeah, it's a first come, first serve, more or less.
Yeah. And it makes sense that in building out the Superman section of things, because obviously the first one coming out is Superman at this time.
Yeah.
It makes sense that you'd also get more ideas for Supergirl and where you want to take that movie, both as a way of fleshing out that corner of the universe, but also as presenting her as an, not enemy sense, but opposing figure to Superman in the sense of she was born on Krypton and she had a life there and she actually remembers it, so she doesn't fit in quite as well on Earth and feels more like an objective outsider.
Yeah.
So I can see where that tracks, and I'm not upset by it. I'm looking forward to this, especially because, allegedly, Craig Gillespie is directing.
Okay.
Cruella.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good. Ooh. I know this is probably not going to happen, but then it's like, so what I'm hearing is...
Crypto killed me, Mom. Crypto, the super dog, just jumps up and knocks your mom on the cliff.
Okay, I was going to make a joke of Emma Stone being Supergirl, but that's actually better.
Oh no, we already know Millie Alcock is Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
No, that would be neat though. Emma Stone she could probably pull off Supergirl.
Yeah, probably. Oh, that was funny. Anyway.
No, that's... Oh god, that would be disappointing if that's not in the movie. Look, I don't know how good a movie I'd say Cruella was, but I enjoyed Cruella. So
yeah, no.
I'm excited by this news.
It would be really funny if they actually have that in the movie, and instead of me being shocked and you laughing your ass off, both of us are laughing our asses off, and the movie's like, what is with those depraved motherfuckers?
Who are these losers? Well, you'll... man.
Crypto killed me, Mom.
Crypto killed me, Mom. I like how Dalmatians Kill Me Mom isn't a line in the movie. It's just something we've internalized.
Yeah. Oh god.
Anyways, the other piece of news, the one that's not superhero related, but might as well be because it's John Wick related.
Oh boy.
They're officially developing a Caine spinoff.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's going to be set after John Wick 4, with Caine being free of his obligations to the High Table, and Donnie Yen is coming back to play Caine.
Okay, I mean, I'd be very surprised if it wasn't still Donnie Yen.
That would be really disappointing and set up a lot of red flags.
Yes. Though, with that makes me wonder if the Continental prequel series did really well.
I don't think it did.
Oh, really?
At least, I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't even watched it. That ought to tell you, I haven't watched a lot of things, but the fact that I haven't heard anything since then really ought to tell you something.
Fair, as I say, I haven't watched it either, so...
I feel like all the discourse that's John Wick related has been on, are they making a John Wick 5, and when is Ballerina coming out?
Yeah. Actually, I think I have the ability to watch that, because I want to say that show's on Peacock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Cool, this streaming service that I literally only have to watch motorsport, I can use it for other things.
Alright.
Yeah.
No, I like this idea, especially because I assume it would have to deal with him trying to survive dealing with that one girl whose dad he was friends with but killed.
Yeah, considering how 4 leaves off on her about to shank his ass, it's like, alright, how does it pick up right from that? It's like, that's my daughter, and I have a knife in my chest.
Oh, I've been stabbed.
Yeah, it's like, well, shit.
Oh, would you look at that? I've been impaled.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled, but you're blind. Let me make my joke. I could see him making that kind of joke, too.
Yeah. Look, the man had enough moxie to tell someone at the High Table to fuck off, so...
Yeah, true.
I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to trailer time.
Let's do trailer time.
It's trailer time again! We've got movie previews to watch! It's trailer time again! We got the entire movie Wicked in one trailer.
For fucking real.
And it went on forever!
Yeah, and I can't make... Are they supposed to be friends or enemies? I don't...
Bruh, it's a Wizard of Oz prequel.
Are they supposed to be friends or enemies?
It's literally Glinda and the Wicked Witch. It's the Good Witch of the North and the Wicked Witch of the West.
Okay, fair.
They're friends, and then they start off enemies, and then they become friends and possibly lovers, and then they become enemies.
I don't know. So, I know how that goes with the proper Wizard of Oz, even though I haven't watched the movies or read the books in literally decades. But it's a thing of, how is this going to finish? Because they start hating each other, and now they're friends at the end. I'm pretty sure they're not going to stay friends at the end, but...
Well, because also remember, this is a two-parter.
Why?
Because you can't fit the entire musical into one thing.
Okay, fine.
Which begs the question of why you're even trying, but...
Yeah.
No, maybe it's just because I know how Wicked goes down, but having seen this, I'm like, okay, this isn't the whole thing, but literally I know exactly what's in this movie and where it's gonna end. It's gonna end with defying gravity, with Alphabet deciding to strike out and do her own thing. I'll guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna have to come back for part 2 to see how it all unfolds and goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Fair.
Production design's pretty good, though.
Oh yeah, production design looks solid. Once again, cast looks solid.
Yeah.
Considering, like, some of the people that we got for here.
I mean, Michelle Yeoh's in it, Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's the wizard.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's fair, and I can't think of anyone else, but I don't think Jeff Goldblum is who I would immediately have in mind, as much as I like him.
My friend, I'm real happy for you, and I'm going to let you finish, but I just had a realization, and that I probably had this before on the show, I think, but I've just had it again. The Wizard has a musical number.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's
I'm
back
sold.
to being okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
No, I'll probably watch this just because... I don't know why. I like the music in Wicked. But damn if this trailer doesn't just make me feel like I've seen the whole thing!
Yeah, it goes on way too long, and it gave away way too much.
Terrible. No way to run a railroad, as Daffy Duck would say.
Indeed.
Actually, technically, he said, what a way to run a railroad, but... We also got a trailer for Never Let Go.
This is suspicious. This is one of the most sus-like movies I've seen.
This is another one. They showed too much.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have shown the whatever it is. They should have just played up the ambiguity and the paranoia of is the mom lying, but when it's got the kid getting dragged into a well, it's like, well, the mom's clearly not doing that, so...
Yeah, it's like, no, there's something out there.
There's actually something out there. Okay, that's less interesting. But I still like the idea.
Oh, yeah.
The concept of having to have a rope around your waist tied to the house whenever you go out, I don't know why that's important, but I'm sure we'll find out, or maybe we won't, who knows?
See, that's the hardest part I have with this, because the entire time she's going, this evil is clever, you have to stay tied up, because this evil is smart. Then wouldn't the evil be smart enough to go to the rope and cut it?
Maybe it can't. Maybe it's weak against rope.
Oh, my secret weakness! Rope!
Like Wonder Woman.
Wait, what?
So, I'm not gonna get into it.
No, you can't fucking lead with that.
So, back in the day, when Wonder Woman was first created,
okay.
I'm pretty sure she had a weakness where if her hands were tied by a man, she lost all of her powers because she was actually created as a,
That's disgusting.
As a softcore BDSM icon.
That's fucking disgusting. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it was actually a little progressive risque for the time. I'll fully acknowledge this is out of my wheelhouse, and I only know this information via passive
mention.
Yeah, passive glancing over it going, wait, what?
Yeah.
Now I have to check real quick. Yep, yeah.
Oh, that was a thing.
That's at least the getting tied up by a man takes away your powers thing that's real.
That is...
At least it was. I doubt it still exists anymore.
Okay, so I'm ignoring the fact that someone actually wrote this. I'm trying to think of it from, like, imagine you're in the world that takes place in. Who was the asshole who thought that up? Like, you're in the universe that Wonder Woman occupies. Like, oh man, I have this hyper-specific weakness. Who thought this was a good idea? What the fuck?
What was I talking about? Right, Never Let Go.
Yeah, Never Let Go.
No, I'm still interested, even if I would have preferred to not know that the mom is actually correct. But, And then, this one I just put on here just for the hell of it, because I saw it in front of The Strangers Chapter 1, and I thought, weirdly, I have an opinion, and the opinion is this is some of the most generic-ass shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's like...
It's called It Ends With Us.
It Ends With Us, and I feel bad thinking that, too, considering that it is a movie about the trials and tribulations of being, like, in an abusive relationship. Apparently it's based on an extremely well-selling book. And I don't want to, like, downplay what I imagine is a very important message and story in this movie, but it just looks so fucking boring and generic. I'm sorry.
This feels like if you took a soap opera season and condensed it into a movie.
A little bit, honestly, yeah.
Well, okay, maybe a little less amnesia and a little less, not all soap operas are like that, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, I saw it and I was like, okay, there's a twist coming, right? There's something bigger.
There has to be like an extra thing. It's like,
this is just a drama where she falls for some abusive prick and then is contemplating whether to get out of it or not, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing else, huh? Alright.
I was expecting it to be, damn it, why am I blanking on their names? I think it was Chris Evans and Ana de Armas.
Ghosted.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this going to be
they're spies, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, is this going to be like a gender twist on Ghosted or something like that? And it's like, no, I'm not even getting that.
I mean, I heard that one was terrible.
Oh, no, I remember distinctly hearing that it was god-awful, which made me go,
watched it.
Yeah, which made me go, it's like, and someone else is going to try that.
But I mean, this is starring Blake Lively. She's pretty good.
Okay.
Even if she was in the rhythm section, which I don't remember beyond that I hated it.
Fair.
I remember definitely not liking it. What was this about? Oh, she tries to become a spy or something. No, wait a minute. No.
So Ghosted.
Oh, I'm reading this and fuck, this is... Okay, yeah, I remember why I don't remember this.
Fair.
Ugh. Let's go to box office.
Let's do the box office.
So, originally, the plan was to go see If, and then maybe I'd see The Strangers Chapter 1. And then the plan became we were both going to see The Strangers Chapter 1.
And then I got sick.
Yep. So I ended up just seeing The Strangers Chapter 1.
And was it the highest grossing movie this week?
It was not.
Okay.
It was third. If took first place, actually.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, The Strangers Chapter 1 is sitting at $11.8 million domestically this weekend, and no worldwide release information, that's all the reported domestic total so far.
Is there a budget for it or no?
8.5 million, I think.
Okay, so at least it doesn't need to go very far to start making money then. Well, relatively far, actually. No, actually,
yeah, let me double check that.
Okay, as I say, no, it's probably still going to lose money.
I mean, we'll see. It depends how the second weekend goes. Yeah, it was 8.5.
Okay.
Anyways, if I have anything to say about it, it won't. This sucked.
This man sent me, for those who've missed it, I have been sick this entire week. I've been battling like a cold that has both been more aggressive and less aggressive than any cold I've previously had. And Saturday, I was just completely on my ass.
So I called him him at the theater like, hey, where you at? Oh, I just woke up.
Yeah, like, and this was at like 7.
Yeah, I was there. It was like the time when the trailers were supposed to start, which meant I had another 5 minutes before the trailer started.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, I've gotten sicker today, and I'm not making it. And then he sends me a picture of his notes, and I'm like, shit, I regret not coming now.
Yeah, so ladies, gentlemen, non-binary, and whatever other descriptor you prefer, I'm happy to report the wall of inane scribbling is back. I had a whole page of notes.
The one note that I saw that also kind of made me a little glad I didn't show up until you clarified it was the one where you just wrote in all caps, why do people keep on bringing their babies to horror movies?
I hate it. There was a point where it was either a baby or a very small child crying at a scene in the movie. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Look, I understand. I understand bringing kids to a movie theater in general. I'm not one of those assholes. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for family films, but even in general, it's like sometimes you just gotta get out of the house and you can't find a sitter, bring a kid. But to an R-rated movie? An R-rated slasher, huh? Yeah,
to an R-rated horror movie. God damn.
Irresponsible. I haven't even talked about this beyond that I hate it. So, The Strangers Chapter 1 is technically the first part of a trilogy that has apparently already been filmed. And it's a maybe prequel, maybe remake trilogy of the 2008 film The Strangers. They're not quite clear on that. We've gotten conflicting info.
But it doesn't matter because the movie sucks.
It doesn't matter because the movie sucks. Okay, so, funny thing, I didn't like the first The Strangers. And I kind of liked the sequel, The Strangers Prey at Night, but only relative to expectations set by the first.
Fair.
This one brought it way back down, partly because it can't decide if it's a remake or a prequel, and because of that, a lot of it is just beat for beat the same stupid shit from the first movie. And the first Strangers I didn't like specifically because it's literally just a bunch of generic, unlikable protagonists make the dumbest fucking decisions you possibly could and get their shit pushed in for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happens again here.
Yeah, and I imagine this movie does not change that formula in the slightest.
Not only does it not change the formula, it has the balls to put a billboard outside of itself advertising brand new, completely overhauled. Wow. And then all they did was they took the formula and they drew a circle around it and they underlined it.
It's like Strangers remastered.
Because the whole premise of the Strangers films is some people are hanging out at home by themselves. Maybe not at home, but, at a home by themselves. They get a random knock on the door. Somebody asks, is Tamara home? They say no. Person walks away. Home invasion starts. And the strangers are allegedly just doing it for kicks just because somebody was home. There's no real rhyme or reason. And now I'm going to put on my film philosophy hat for a moment here.
I feel like there should be a jingle for this.
No, I don't do this enough where there needs to be a jingle. But film marketing has an interesting relationship with the film itself, and long term, it doesn't really have any bearing on a movie's quality. It's mostly only good as a historical time bubble to explain why a movie was received the way it was, not the whole picture, but at least in part, and also to provide some context for why a movie might have performed the way that it did. But in the short term, marketing is absolutely valid for determining how a movie does. And in the short term, this is a movie that said on the trailers, see how the strangers became the strangers, and doesn't fucking do that.
Okay.
Not relevant at all. It is not an origin story.
Oh.
They're already there. They're already strangering. It's just another Strangers film. And I don't feel like that's a spoiler because the marketing is fucking lying to you. And not in a clever, fun way. In a, we're gonna package the same shit we've always done and tell you it's different way. Fuck you. I need to sum this up somehow, and I've already forgotten a good chunk of it.
I mean, I feel like you summed it up in the marketing lies to you, don't watch it.
Let's see. So, our main characters are Ryan and Maya, and they're on a road trip to Oregon. They have been dating for 5 years.
Oh my god.
And they're doing a stopover in a little town in the middle of nowhere, Oregon, to get some food. And then their car stops working, and there's they can't get it fixed that day because allegedly the store that they need to get a part from is closed, and the motel is closed for renovations, but there's an Airbnb as helpfully supplied by the... You already see where this is going. You already see where this is going.
First off, it's like, this is horrifically generic. Second of all, it's horrifically generic. It is just the constant flow of inconveniences. But there's something about the fact that it's not a small cabin or like a friendly neighbor. No, it's specifically an Airbnb. Maybe it's because I keep on getting the commercials for Airbnb when I watch YouTube on my Xbox.
Yeah.
But that is just like very, very funny to me.
Or as the sketchy as fuck mechanic who supplies the information calls it, one of them internet houses.
Yeah.
And here we get to the infuriating bit where everybody in this town, sketchy as fuck, unpersonable as fuck, judgmental as hell.
Really?
And there's no purpose.
Okay.
There's no... I'm trying to figure out what constitutes a spoiler and trying to determine whether it's worth it or not. So, You know what? I'm just gonna say, short term, don't go see this movie. It's boring. It's insipid. It's nothing you haven't already seen before if you've seen one singular slasher movie. But not only does it repeat every stupid cliche, every dumb idea, every boneheaded character decision you would expect to see in this type of movie, with no twist or variation, it doesn't even have the balls to celebrate it, it just does it, as if wrote by memory, all while having the balls to present itself as something new. This is just a waste of time, and the only reason it is not the lowest ranked theatrical movie I've seen this year is because, by virtue of having mobile killers, it is slightly more interesting than a haunted pool movie. And
I was going to say, the way you're talking about this, like, alright, so we found the worst ranked movie so far this year.
No, it's ahead of Night Swim because Haunted Pool Movie was inherently silly and didn't have the balls to go goofy with it. And also because not another church movie is straight up garbage.
Fair.
I had fun watching it, but it's a straight up train wreck of a movie.
Yeah, that's fair and valid.
But if it wasn't for those two outliers, this would be the worst theatrical release movie I've seen all year.
Right.
I cannot unrecommend it enough. This movie has made me think maybe I've been going too easy on horror movies all these years.
Or you just needed a particularly bad one, a very bad one, to just be like, oh, we're so back.
It's like, alright guys, I was grading on a curve, I was trying to be nice, I was trying to minimize my own workload, but some of y'all keep taking advantage of my generosity and having ChatGPT do your essays and film scripts. Not that I'm implying this movie did, I'm using this as an analogy for students. I'm not implying anybody on this film used AI, because it's not that bad. But because of some of you can't keep it in your fucking pens, I have to fucking start actually doing some work and being a little more critical now. So, you can thank The Strangers Chapter 1 class, because they ruined it for everyone.
Right.
And if you don't want to get spoiled beyond that, make sure to click away in 3, 2, I think this might be the shortest non-spoiler section I've ever done leading into a spoiler section. 1.
It's a new record.
Maybe, who knows? I'm not, I haven't been keeping track. I don't stopwatch this shit. So no, the identity of the strangers is never revealed.
Well, yeah, because there's 2 more movies after this.
Yeah, and the most frustrating part is that means that they have the entire town act completely suspicious and unhelpful and unapproachable and unfriendly for no fucking reason. Unless it turns out 2 movies in that they were in fact the strangers the whole time, but that doesn't save this movie.
As I say, watch it be a thing where it turns out the entire town is also in on it.
Oh, I'd fucking hate that.
Yeah, it would be, don't get me wrong, it would be very dumb. But it would be something.
Something else I hate about The Strangers, like, one of the main reasons the original The Strangers didn't click with me is that it presents itself as based on a true story, but in actuality, it's based on an idea. It's based on a series of break-ins that I think the director had experienced. No, maybe it wasn't the director. I need to do a little more checking on this.
Well, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, someone involved in the production of the movie, they lived in the area during, like, a serial break-in period that lasted several months. And that's how they got the idea from it.
Oh, no, it was written and directed by the same person, and one of the inspirations was some break-ins that occurred in his neighborhood when he was a kid. So, it's really frustrating to watch this movie go, yeah, based on a true story, in that, you know, violent crimes happen all the time. It's like, oh, so you're lying.
Yeah.
Straight up lying. Not even embellishing. Not garnishing the truth. You're just fucking lying.
Just a little bit.
Great. This one keeps it up because it starts with a spiel on violent crimes happen every 26 seconds in America or some shit. This is the most brutal. This is a story about the most brutal of them all. It's like, this didn't fucking happen. I know this didn't fucking happen.
Yeah, and also, at the risk of damning our entire nation, there's a long list of other violent crimes that have made headlines that you have to qualify this one against if you're gonna call it that.
Why are you lying?
Yeah, why you always lying?
It'd be one thing if this movie was stylized as like a true crime documentary examining after the fact, or this is a recreation, like presented as a movie within a movie, but it's not! There is no reason to have this disclaimer or this warning other than a blatant fucking falsehood.
Right.
I despise it so.
Indeed.
So, the most frustrating part of the whole thing, I think, is that right at the start, when they're first encountering these problems, the boyfriend calls out how sketchy it is, and calls out that it's a scam, because the mechanic watched them roll up to the diner and was staring at their car. And while they're in there, and everybody's being, you know, weird and sketchy, suddenly their car stops as soon as they come back to it, and the guy just happens to be there, and is like, yeah, I can fix it, just not today. It's like, no, there's definitely something going on. But his girlfriend's like, no, you're being weird. There's nothing going on. It's fine. So then they go to this Airbnb cabin and everything's fine except for the fact that the boyfriend forgot his inhaler in the car. So apparently there's a motorcycle at this Airbnb which just happens to have the keys still available.
What the fuck is going on?
Right?
It's like, I conveniently forgot my inhaler in my car, but there's conveniently this motorcycle with keys and a full tank of gas at this mysterious Airbnb cabin in the woods. What the fuck?
Oh, and also the fridge doesn't work, and they call the owner of the B&B about it, and that'll become important later.
The worst. No, that's the worst shit in there.
Yeah.
It's like,
but
nope,
it's important
trip
later.
ruined. It's like, screw the home invaders, screw the probable murder. I don't have a working fridge to keep all, like, my freaking booze and ice cream. Worst trip, 0 stars.
Yeah. Now, so what he decides to do is, he decides to just take the motorcycle, drive back into town into the garage, and go get it, and leave Maya at the house by herself. Even though
I wonder how that'll go.
Yeah, even though he's already getting bad vibes from this place. His decision is to leave her alone. And this is actually after they have the weird knock at the door, is Tamara here exchange, where some random stranger just comes up to the door in the middle of nowhere, knocks on it, asks for somebody, and then just saunters away. So they already know something is weird, and he chooses to leave her at the house by himself.
Jesus Christ.
Unsurprisingly, the strangers get in during this point, partly because apparently they left all the doors unlocked.
Okay.
At one point, somebody comes back and starts knocking on the door, and she sees someone there, and she undoes the deadbolt like she's gonna open the door, and then decides against it, but then never redoes the deadbolt. And the explanation, I guess, is supposed to be they've been drinking and also smoking some weed, but I don't know, if I'm paranoid, I'm double-checking, triple-checking everything.
Yeah, same.
This is an attempt to rationalize a stupid decision that actually makes less sense.
Yeah.
So naturally, someone gets in the house, she sees them, she's freaked out, Ryan comes back, and despite all of his misgivings about the situation prior, and despite the fact that they know there has been weird people poking around the house, he immediately plays off her insistence that there was somebody there, and tries to insist she's paranoid because she was smoking.
He's in on it.
No! He's not! That's the even worst part of the whole thing! He's not in on it!
That's got me thinking, it's like, this motherfucker has to be in on it to have that kind of personality change.
So then, roughly halfway through this hour-and-a-half movie, the strangers begin their attack in her nest. And everybody, stupidest decisions on the planet, just... Let's see here. I have a note, did every killer in this movie go to the Michael Myers School of Dramatic Exits?
Okay.
This town could not be more suspicious if it was Derry fucking Maine. That's a little It reference for people playing along at home.
Fair.
No, and just everything about it is just, when the strangers first break in, there's a guy with an axe chopping down the door to the room that they're hiding in, and then he just walks away, and they hear the door open and shut, and at no point do they think that's probably a trap. They're like, I think they're gone.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so these people are idiots then.
Yeah, they're total idiots.
They were getting into the idiot part of the idiot sandwich.
They still managed to end up on the back foot against these guys, despite the fact that they find a fully functional shotgun.
Oh, what is happening in this movie?
Ryan gets one kill with the shotgun, and it's the wrong guy. He accidentally shoots the owner who was coming back to fix the fridge.
Okay, I think I'm done.
How do you think I felt? Because the even worse part is, it wasn't the same context, but somebody gets somebody gets a kill with a gun on the wrong person in the first Strangers movie.
Really?
Yep.
Totally new, totally different, still the same zany bullshit.
There were some unpleasant patronizing close-ups when he tries to rationalize all the shit she's been going through. That's almost effective if I thought it was intentional.
Fair.
Let's see. Everybody in this movie falls over themselves like they're wearing banana peel shoes.
Fun. There's
a point where... Oh, right. Yeah, at one point they're in the shed where he finds the shotgun, and one of the strangers, the big guy, at the puts a hand to the window and basically has his girlfriend in a headlock. So Ryan goes to shoot the guy. He does, and all I could think is, well, Maya's alive, but now she's probably deaf?
Yeah. Like, was it right next to her ear?
It was pretty close.
Oh yeah, she's 100% deaf. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that someone would be deaf after something like that.
And now, you saw the trailer for this, and you saw the scene where he's pointing the gun at the girl in the doll face mask, and she's, like, making weird screaming noises.
Yeah.
So my natural thought, especially because prior to that point in the movie, Maya gets found by Dollface and knocked out and dragged away. My natural thought process is, okay, so they're gonna dress her up to look like Dollface and Ryan's gonna shoot her.
Yeah.
Nope, it's actually Dollface. The only reason he doesn't get a kill is because he pauses to say some stone cold shit before he does it, which gives Baghead time to sneak up and whack him.
So now this feels like a weird crossover with the whole thing in in The Incredibles of how Edna is always like, no caves. So it's like, no caves. It's like, no weird badass monologue.
No, this is The Incredibles bit with Syndrome going, you sly dog, you got me monologuing.
Yeah.
Because he has a whole line about, you know how they always say the first kill is the hardest, and she just nods? You're my second. God. And then he gets fucking thwacked over the head.
It's just like, and World Star just starts playing in the background.
Every time you think something interesting is going to happen in this movie, they go for the least interesting option. There's a point when they're going to take the owner of the Airbnb's car, because obviously it's not doing him any good now, he's dead.
Right.
And then it turns out the strangers have their own truck, I guess, that they brought from home, and Sackhead uses it to pin their car between his truck and a tree. And despite the fact that they have a fully functional shotgun in the car with them, he does not grab it and shoot the guy. He only thinks to do that after they've had a dramatic scene where he tells Maya to go to save herself, and then he finally goes, and by that point, of course, the villain has exercised his Mike Myers teleportation powers, and he's gone.
Okay.
I have one note here, viscerally unsatisfying.
It sounds viscerally unsatisfying.
This movie is fucking obnoxious. And then, once they've been apprehended, they're tied up, and they do the same, why are you doing this to us, what do you want? And Dollface just leans in and goes, because you're here. And just stabs Ryan, he bleeds out. They stab Maya. She apparently survives, but the movie frames it like she's dead at first. Or maybe she wakes up, or maybe her eyelids flutter, I don't really remember. And then it has the fucking balls to end on a to be continued.
Hoo boy.
And then as a post-credit scene where she wakes up in a hospital bed, sits up, and it looks like Sackhead is lying right next to her, which either means she is about to die next, or has lingering trauma. And if it's the former case, congratulations, having her survive was pointless. And if it's the latter, you're not that fucking clever, movie. Yeah, and for a source, I submit the whole rest of this fucking movie. I hate this. This was one of the least interesting things I've seen in a good long while.
It sounds pretty awful.
I needed this.
I was miserable. It was good for the soul.
I needed this kind of cathartic hate. I needed a movie with almost no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Jesus
Where
Christ.
It's not just, oh no, I'm having a... Like, okay, I didn't like Boy Kills World, but that didn't help because I acknowledge there are some good things in it. It's just the rest of it didn't sit right with me and the good things in it couldn't save it. Here, there is borderline nothing good.
There is nothing going on in this movie's favor.
It's just some of the most bland people blunder into one of the most obvious horror traps on the planet, make all the wrong decisions, die. The end.
And there's going to be 2 more of these.
And there's 2 more! One's coming out later this year, apparently!
Really?
Yeah!
Just because it reminds me of it. What was the one thing that's, like, series of films that's coming out that's supposed to be, like, one movie, like, every 3 months or something like that?
Horizon? No, The Beatles! The Beatles!
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Beatles movies, that's the one. Chapter 2 is expected to be released around Halloween. Fuck!
Oh, that's cheating.
If there's ever a time where I'd be expected to watch this stupid fucking movie, it would be Halloween, wouldn't it?
That's just cheating.
I guess we'll see. Not if I have anything to say about it. Anyways, thanks for listening, everybody. Don't go see this movie.
Do not see this movie.
Next week, it's definitely Furiosa.
Oh, yes.
Because our only other option is the Garfield movie, it looks like.
Yeah, Furiosa wins. That's not a hard decision in the slightest.
I mean, we've got a relevant... Even if we didn't have a relevant video themed around... vaguely around Furiosa coming out around the same time, wink wink, stay tuned. It's... I still wouldn't want to go see this Garfield movie.
Fair.
But thanks again for listening, everybody. Make sure to, again, like, comment, subscribe, share the video around, hit that bell. Hope you like what we're doing. Really excited to have hit triple digits. Excited to keep momentum going. Maybe look at some different stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, this has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you guys next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!